It is Buffalo Bills Football Monday. Victory Monday brought to you by Northwest Bank for what's next. Get started at northwest.com. Jeremy and Joe, howdy, everyone. Welcome back in. If you missed the game, I'll explain what happened here. You know, the Bills gave up 1,000,000 yards. They got down 21-0. Then they scored a bunch of points, and they won with the quarterback being a superhero. You know, boring. Same thing they've done like 5 times.
And you still get to complain about the run defense if you want.
True. Same old
Perfect.
Bills. Same old Bills.
This is. Should we start calling this Billsy?
I guess it should be.
Redefine Billsy.
Yeah. This one challenged me. I tell you, I always think they're going to win.
Yeah.
I always think they're going to win. And at halftime, I thought, I still think it's not over. I might have gone. I might not be in like the green zone of they're still going to win. I might have gone in like to the caution zone of like, well, it isn't over. I'm not cashing bets here. It's not over. So anyway,
I thought that it could be over because I don't know whether to trust whether the offense bounces back in second halves because sometimes they don't. The defense seems to every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time the defense plays poorly in the first half, they are going to bounce back in the second half. I counted that if you take out game, but if you take out the 165-yard run by New England in the second half, the Bills held them to 15 yards and 17 plays.
It's incredible. The
other 17 plays went for 15 yards by New England. So the defense does it.
Yep.
They always, no matter how bad it looks, and it looked bad in the first half, right? New England kind of did whatever they wanted. No matter how bad it looks, they are going to bounce back in the second half. Didn't know that we would get that from the offense. I mean, they had to score 5 straight touchdowns.
Yeah.
And did anybody think they were ready? They might have bounced back, but 5 straight touchdowns didn't feel in the cards for me when we were watching those first couple of drives.
Yep. Yeah, some self-inflicted issues along the way, whether it's a drop or just like looking like things were out of sync. I mean, whatever. It ends up a Bills win, and you know, the conversation about the division is there. The conversation about the 1 seed is maybe there, but not as much. Anyway, our phone number is 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550. Can I tell you my overarching thought I have about, like, the Bills right now? I tried to put this in a tweet, but it's a little too wordy, and I feel like you'll know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's just this, which is watching Josh do what he does again, which is be the best player in the league and just be incredible. Sometimes it's not even Superman stuff. Sometimes he's just like very pedestrian, like bink, 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 over here, over here, over here. I don't need to jump over anybody. And that's a credit to Joe Brady. It's a credit to the rest of the offense, what they're able to get done. You know, but he's not throwing linebackers to the ground and then heaving it 60 yards. Just like, a 3rd and 2 pass that's really important. It's going to be on the money where it needs to go. And as we watch him get better, all right, that's in the cards. He's getting better. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, then the only possible approach they should have is everything possible we have to win it right away. I can't hear another, not that they've been saying this a ton, no more, well, you want to make sure you're in good shape in 2028. No. This man, this player, is so good that if he is to not win one ever, it is a crime against sports. We can't have it. The sports universe cannot have someone this good not getting to the mountaintop. And if it happens this year, which I think it could, great. And if it doesn't happen this year, then it's got to be, you trade your next 10 first-round picks. You super team it. I know you're not allowed to trade that many 10 first-round picks, but you know what I mean, right? Like, No, you can't slow play. You've got to go, no matter what, because he is too special. He's too good. He is, again, just like 5 consecutive touchdown drives on the road against a divisional opponent that has a decent defense, and maybe it's not as good as it was earlier in the year, but, man, it's just when you get those 5 straight touchdown drives, what you get is, okay, I can't make a single mistake. And I don't mean a turnover mistake. I mean take an intentional grounding penalty or take a bad sack or have somebody, whatever, like drop the ball and put us in a 3rd and 17 so I can't get there. Like, it's just what we're watching. I'm taken back to the San Francisco game last year where in the snow they get 35 and he catches the touchdown from Cooper, and we're just like, all right, let's talk about this absolute alien that we're watching, how much of a privilege it is to watch him, and he must be delivered to the mountaintop one way or the other. That's what I think. Maybe this is the year, maybe not. But whatever. He has to get there.
Well, my overarching thought about them right now is that I'm starting to feel good about this year being their year for that, even though I don't think this is their best form. Because I still think that their offense can go into these moods where they just disappear for a quarter or 2 quarters, but I'm not sure that it's going to kill them this time. New England is one of those teams you might go play on the road. I've just proven that I could be asleep for 2 quarters and still beat them in their own building. Okay. I mean, the team that I would fear the most right now is currently behind me in the standings in Houston, and I wouldn't play them until the AFC Championship game, the way things would shake out.
Right.
So without the Chiefs, and that's officially over, and with the Ravens still not looking amazing, I don't think they can. I think they can lose. I can't envision them losing to any of the teams that are above them in the standings right now. I can't. I know they could. It's tough for me to picture.
Do you feel like Josh
season ends in Denver, season ends in Jacksonville? And part of that is the quarterback,
right?
And him willing you back into games like that if you're not playing Houston, which I'm not sure he can will you back into a game against that defense. Any other defense, any other team, I feel like he might have that in him.
Yeah, maybe. And the conference, I mean, listen, Mahomes is out. That's official. Burrow's out. That's official. The Ravens look like trash. I mean, I guess the Colts look okay the other day or yesterday, which is stunning.
They are. Did you? How much of that game did you watch?
A little bit. The saddest thing I ever saw was Phillip Rivers standing up from one knee, looking like he looked like me standing up.
He fell on his own in the pocket.
Yeah. You could tell, like that's an old guy right there.
It is like they did a good job hanging in there with Seattle. That team is a non-threat.
Right, sure, I totally agree.
They were down. They were at a point where they were down by 1. I think down by 1 in the final 2 minutes, and they were running the ball.
Yeah,
because they just can't throw it. So the Colts to me are totally done.
We'll get to all your thoughts on Bills Patriots. I've got some thoughts on where New England goes from here, which is if I'm them, I think all right, hey, whatever. You play in Josh Allen's division, guess what? That's going to happen to you. You know that. I'm reminded of a Bills Patriots game at Highmark Stadium where the Bills went up 21-0 and then lost. I think it was 6 consecutive touchdown drives for Tom Brady in that game. Brandon Bolden, maybe they ran all over the Bills' faces that day.
Yeah,
I'll find out which year that was. But thoughts on New England, thoughts on Drake May, thoughts on Sean McDermott's 4th down decision-making, which was part of the reason they were down 21-0. He had a rough start to the day. But one more overarching theme. We've talked about this a bunch in the last couple weeks. Man, I know you get so mad in the first halves. You have to start giving such credit to McDermott and Bobby Babich. Because what's every game? Every game is, all right, let's throw this ragtag group out there and see what the team wants to do to us, and then go into halftime like, all right, here's the plan. And they hold the plane together for the second half and end up, we're fine. It's incredible. Matt Milano shows up, right?
Yeah.
Trey White shows up. Incredible. 803-0550 and 1-888-550-2550.
Joey Bosa, who was in coverage, making a big play at one point.
Right. Yeah. Just awesome. All right, we'll get some phone calls in and talk about it with you on Buffalo Bills Football Monday, brought to you by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com. The Bills win a 35-31 decision. I'm sure at some point we will allow space to complain about bubble screens. I think we've all got that.
Yes, I have that ready.
We've all got that tiny little space in our heart to say, like, what if we did all that stuff you just did, except like without the bubble screens on 2 of the most important plays of the game. All right, Mo in New Jersey. Mo, what's up, Mo? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm really honored to start the day off, this Victory Monday off with you guys. Watching that game between the first half and the second half, I wish the real Bills would just stand up. All right, we got Jekyll in the first half, Hyde in the second half. And, in that first half, the thoughts that were going through my mind, just blow the team up. This is it. It's over. The Patriots, it's their division. And then you get the second half where we just put together, starting with that last drive in the first half, 5 straight touchdowns, reminiscent of the playoff game, where we had 6 or 7 in a row. It's like I couldn't believe the difference. And like you guys said, all the credit to the coaching staff. I am one of the biggest detractors for McDermott. Until he can prove he can do it, he can't do it in my eyes. But the way he gets this team focused and playing better in the second half is just a credit to him and his staff. And, I've heard callers say, oh, he can't make adjustments, I don't know what he does in that locker room, but all the credit to them for what they did. And to tell you the truth, going into this offseason, I was on the fence about whether or not we should extend James Cook. That is one of the best decisions Bean has made. Right? Of all the moves he's ever made, bringing James Cook back has been incredible. He's awesome. Mm-hmm. All the credit to this team. I love this team. I love this one. It might not be the best team we've ever had, but this group of guys, I'll go to the battlefield with them every single week. Let's go Bills, and talk to you guys later.
All right, thanks, Mo. One thing about, you're talking James Cook, it's funny, if you were to say, hey, 35-31, 5 consecutive touchdown drives, high-scoring shootout kind of game, who do you think had the biggest game out there? Nobody had huge stats. It really is one of these everybody eats kind of games.
Yeah.
Josh threw for 193.
193.
Cook ran for 100.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The leading receiver had 60.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Like, you had 35 points and
how'd that happen? Part of that might have been Ray Davis had a bunch of big returns.
That is a part of it.
Yeah.
Special teams were massive in this game.
Yeah.
Ray Davis was great. Wishnowski booted them inside the 20 like 4 times.
Yep. Allen, 48 yards on the ground helps too.
That's right.
Gets him closer to like a 250 number. But
it's kind of wild. 35 points and there's not a lot of big numbers on the board.
Right. I mean, they didn't do anything for like 2. Ray Davis had 164 yards of kick returns. It's a 41-yard average.
It's pretty good.
The average was 41 yards. If you did have Cook in fantasy, you were very happy yesterday, though.
3 touchdowns.
He did find his way into the end zone 3 times. The thing I wonder about him down the stretch, this is very secondary to all the standings and getting the division, but chasing the rushing title. He has got a look. He got 20 yards closer to Jonathan Taylor yesterday, so now he is sitting at this moment. He's at 14-15, and Taylor's at 14-43.
That's in striking distance.
Yeah. He's within 30 yards of Jonathan Taylor for the NFL rushing title.
And the Bills play the Jets, who have been just given up lately.
Yep.
They play the Browns, the Eagles, the Jets. All right.
To me, I wonder how hard they'll go after that. Last year, he comes back into a game in Week 18 that was over so he could break a touchdown record for the Bills.
Yeah.
He might be the NFL's leading rusher at the end of the season. Like, he's got a chance.
He's had a great season. He's fun to watch. He's had a great season. He's a nightmare to play against. So is Josh Allen, of course. Mike Vrabel, we got to play Mike Vrabel after this game. He gave one of the all-time quotes about Josh Allen, a lengthy one, just about like, hey, explain what happened. He's like, what do you want? 6'5", 220, does whatever he wants out there.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do? That's what he does. Vrabel at halftime kind of said that. He was going in the locker room. They did an interview on the field. It's like, we got to make sure because it's not over. 21-7 or 24-7 is not over against this team. And this year, more than any other, we've kind of learned that. Don't the Bills right now, this might trigger, don't the Bills right now look like peak Chiefs? Where they're doing one of those games where they do the stupid thing early and then they win anyway. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching them hoping they lose, you're just so mad. Like, come on. How are you able to get over being so terrible for 2 quarters?
Right.
And still winning kind of comfortably?
That's kind of last. Well, no, not even.
I feel like it's Chiefs. A lot of the Chiefs years.
Yeah.
They're not that good.
But those are the good Chiefs years.
That's right.
They?
That's right.
Yeah.
Peak Chiefs, where it's it's you let them off the hook.
Yesterday would have been a day 2 where if it was Kansas City, you probably would have got a lot of complaints about the officials, right?
Maybe
all the calls they got. The Bills did get some calls.
They got some calls.
So if that were the Chiefs, we would have been saying it. We got to be fair.
803-0550, our phone number.
I think all the calls were actually good calls.
Steve in Wheatfield. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. A couple things I got to say. First of all, happy Victory Monday. I will say, I told my wife yesterday, when the Bills lose games, I try not to let it bother me as much as most. Like, I try not to get down the entire week and frustrated and annoyed. I go to different customers all week long, and I have to hear about it, win or lose. And it gets annoying when it's a loss because every single customer, even on Fridays, is like, "Oh, what about that game? That was tough." And it just gets draining. But when they win, I say it's just so much more of a fun week. The whole week is enjoyable. Everybody's in a good mood, mostly, unless you're a Pats fan this week. And I will say, in the third quarter, when the Bills scored their second touchdown, and they were only down by 10. My buddy texts me. He's a Patriots fan. He goes, "I don't think we're going to win this game," and because he's seen this season, and with the way the halves have gone, first half, I texted another buddy and I said, if the Bills could figure out how to play the first half like they do the second half, they will guaranteed win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
There's nothing that will stop them from doing that. And just a quick question on this whole thing for you guys. I don't want to say best second half team of all time. They got to be up there.
Yeah.
But best adjusting team of all time. Like you guys said, the adjustments they make, it's in the first half, you're watching it, you're not even bummed. Like, I was just kind of like, there's a lot left in this game. They're only up 21. Like, I've never said that before any other year. They're only up 21. But I'm sitting there looking, they're only up 21. This game's not over. We get the ball after halftime, we'll be fine. And sure enough, that happened. And last thing, Ray Davis, you're right, man. That guy, keep him on kick returns. I don't care who else is out there. Ray Davis has been very good on kick returns this year. So enjoy your week, guys. This will be a fun one and fun end of the season. And go Bills. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Steve. Looking at – so why are they down 21-0? In part because their defense got run over. Mm-hmm. In part because Drake May ran on them, which, by the way, isn't that the thing that stopped happening? Drake May stopped running.
He never
in the second half. In the second half, he had opportunities. He didn't run.
Yeah.
He is not – it's one thing about the difference between him and Allen. They both can run, and in the first half you saw May, swimming through the pocket and running past people and making moves. He is not, it seems, as eager to do it as Allen was when he was young.
Yeah. He
definitely can do it, but he stopped running. So why are they down 21-0? It's in part because they decided to kick the ball away. 4th and 5 on their first possession.
Mm-hmm.
Punt? What? Punt?
From their territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 punts in plus territory? What? That's a great recipe to get down in a game against a good team. You should not do that against Jacksonville later in the year. You should probably not do that against, I don't know who I want to throw in here, but you shouldn't do that. That part of the reason you're down 21-0 is you have decided you're giving up on possessions. So maybe if you don't do that, it's not 21-0. It's 21-10, 21-14.
Right.
So anyway, but the adjustment's right. Like that, what they've been able to do in the second half of these games, and you would think like the next time a team gets up on them 21-0, they go in the locker room and say like, listen, just pretend they already have 35.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep this team down. You're not going to keep this offense down. And, man, what a game. 803-0550, Bills beat the Patriots. The division is alive. It's still...
You need Miami or Brady Cook to beat the New England Patriots.
Right. You need Miami. And Miami plays tonight. So maybe give them a scouting, give them a scout, give them a look.
They're officially alive for a playoff berth still. Oh. So we should be rooting for Miami to stay alive in the playoffs so that they continue to have something to play for?
Yes. But
what are the odds that they would have something to play for going into Week 18?
All right, you want that?
That's what I'm going to need.
All right, let me quickly give you the Dolphins' playoff odds with 3 straight wins because they play the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Bucks.
Yes.
If they win those 3 straight games, the New York Times playoff machine still puts them at less than 1%. So I think
not zero though.
Not zero.
Not zero.
Not zero. Yeah, the Dolphins-Patriots game. It is in New England. We'll see.
I might just rather have Pittsburgh win it. Because I want to play Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're not going to win the division, Pittsburgh's a pretty good.
Yeah, that's the best opponent I can imagine.
Yeah. 803-0550. And then, you're talking about the 3 seed. The way that, like, you might find that without Kansas City and Baltimore in the playoff picture, that they're, and as you pointed out, Houston as far away as possible. Like, the Bills are 5,
right,
and Houston's 6,
keep them in a wild
which
card.
is ideal.
Yeah.
You might find that there's no playoff picture order that you don't like. Right now it'd be, beat the Steelers,
Yep.
and then go to Jacksonville. Or if Houston wins, by the way, I love the idea of Houston and Jacksonville playing each other. What I want is Houston
in the first round.
If I can get Houston to play a team that I think has some teeth, then that's a win. And Jacksonville right now is rolling offensively.
Yes, they are.
They are. Trevor Lawrence
did things yesterday that nobody's ever done. It was like a three touchdowns, 50 rushing yards. One of those stats that Allen always
Josh does,
have.
yeah.
But Lawrence had it.
Yeah.
And Allen had never done it.
All of a sudden, that offense has hit another level. So maybe we get a shootout between those two teams if they play. Anyway, Victory Monday. Bills win 35-31. They beat the New England Patriots. The defense puts the locks on in the second half. That's pretty much what they do. We've seen this game before. The question is, how mad were you at halftime? Or were you entertaining the idea that, it's not over yet? Meanwhile, in New England, I don't think it'll be full-on meltdown mode. I think they'll just be, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If I were them, I wouldn't be. Because I'm still, to this morning, I'm going, it's all right. All we can do is beat Miami and the Jets.
Do you want to?
How that comfort of knowing all I got to do is beat the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah, and you still win the division.
I'm in good
Get
shape.
a home playoff game, and then you can talk about having to maybe beat this team again. The one fun conversation, maybe we'll have this later in the week. We'll get to a break. We'll get to a lot more of your phone calls right away. Sal's coming up at 7. The fun conversation is this, I think, if you're in New England. Today's the post-game show. Tomorrow, here's the conversation I would have. All right, so that guy, Josh Allen's in the division for a while. What's the best way to deal with it? Is it, A, try to draft a ton of defensive linemen, draft a perfect build the nastiest defense you can get to get after him, or is it like actually Drake's going to need a lot more help out there? Because their receivers are good,
Yeah.
but they needed somebody in the second half, and Matt Collins not going to work, and Steph Diggs is not going to go deep enough, and
he doesn't play all the snaps because they are still managing his injuries. So.
Right. So, I would think about that, like how New England's probably chasing the same things the Bills are chasing this offseason, which are help on the outside and edge rusher. 803-0550, but that's a fun conversation for them to have, and the division remains alive. 803-0550, that's that phone number. Buffalo Bills Football Monday, Victory Monday, brought to you by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com. Shout out some players, shout out the coaches, and this race, it's going to stay alive for a couple more weeks.